And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be mine.
Just one guy in a cabin in the woods. That was the rather unorthodox approach that Justin Vernon took to recording an album that provoked a collective critical swoon even months before it was released. The name of Justin Vernon's one-man band is Bon Iver, and the album is called For Emma, Forever Ago. We caught up with him playing to a packed house at Soundfix Record Store in Brooklyn. It's mythology that's built up around your recording of the album. You basically hibernated for 3 months?
Yeah, my dad has like a hunting cabin up north in northwestern Wisconsin, like 60 miles from where I was born. He bought it in '79. It's like 80 acres, and sort of had a rough time at life down in North Carolina, and broke up.
So you were coming from North Carolina and moved
Yeah,
there?
fleeing, kind of.
Fleeing?
Well, just kind of personal reasons. I needed to get out of there in kind of a hurry, and
We're breaking up with
a band, a girlfriend, myself, trying to break up with myself, kind of, in old habits and kind of old hookups and like just stuff. And I didn't have anywhere to go necessarily. It wasn't like, but I wasn't like down and out. I was just like, I don't know where to go. So I asked my dad if I could go up there for a few months. And the beginning goal really wasn't to make a record. I was thinking about making music, but I just went up there just to be and to just sleep and wake up and chop wood or do something, clear my head. And it was really necessary to do. And I was there for 3 months and ended up doing some recording that by the end, it was like songs that were built into a record somehow. And it was kind of surprising to me, even at the end.
Did the making of the album actually make you feel better? Was it healing in some way?
It really was, and I have trouble kind of talking about like the depth of that and sort of like the real qualities of like the healing process that it had. But like I was really hooked up on a lot of stuff, and that's like the story of the record too. Is like about a period of my life, and it was really hard, and it was really like dim and mediocre, kind of like indifference, you know, like all over the place. And for that 3 months, really it did was like a spiritual sort of reconnection for me to my own music, and it was really, really important. And I still haven't been able to explain to even my family or my friends like how important that was for me. But
without pushing too hard or getting overly personal, the name of the album is For Emma, Forever Ago, so that the logical conclusion is that you're singing about the loss of a relationship.
That was like the catalyst of it, and like the beginning of it, and in my head even. And over time, I sort of realized, like, man, like it's a lot of things. It's my inability to get over this, and it's my inability to like have the courage to like go beyond it because I'm afraid and all that. I mean, it's a lot of typical things that happen to a lot of people, but for some reason, I just held on to it for a really long time and ended up having a lot of information and sort of emotions to sort of like purge, you know.
This purging was pretty much a solo effort. I mean, you, as if I understand it correctly, write all the songs and play almost every instrument on the whole album.
Yeah. After I was all done, and I sort of realized that what I had done had made a record, I had some friends back from Eau Claire in Wisconsin put some horns down on a song, but other than that, it's just basically me doing everything on the record, just kind of tinkering away at it and sort of like excavating and building all at the same time.
All by yourself in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
It's caught fire in a way that I haven't seen happen in quite a while. I mean, it just came out Tuesday, but it was on the best of the year list from Pitchfork last year.
Yeah.
And it's been blogged about, the subject of all this buzz.
Yeah. I kind of I had a stomach flu the other night in Bloomington, Indiana, and I got really, really sick before our first show of the tour. And I had a breakdown, sort of like, I hadn't actually stopped since like July. I don't think I'd stopped and thought about what had been happening. And like, yeah, like you said, the record hadn't come out yet. You know, it's like all this stuff has been happening, and I've been like doing interviews and stuff, and the record had actually been in a place where people could go buy it, you know, ever. And so I was kind of confused, and we're going on this tour, and I've not really been away from home longer than 5 weeks at a time. ever, and so we're going out for like 8-9 weeks, and I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, I'm just really thankful, and this is always what I've wanted, so I'm obviously going to go with it. You know, but.
So the 9 tracks that you recorded, and it's 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get out into the blogosphere or whatever, and you start getting phone calls from major labels.
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying to you, and why did you rebuff them? You instead went with the Jaguar, which is out of Indiana.
Right. I don't even know. I didn't have a lot to go on except for friends. My girlfriend is on an indie label in Europe, and I toured with my friends the Rosebuds that are Merge Records, which is a label that everyone seems to love. I just like, I don't know. It seemed like in the music business, which I don't really understand to begin with. I've been living in Wisconsin my whole life, which is kind of like living under the proverbial rock. You know, as far as exposure to like the reality of the ins and outs of daily life, like in a business like music. But I just sort of went with my gut, and I remember actually I was here in this store after CMJ Festival this year. And I remember sitting, I just talked to all these labels and agents like all week long. And I had talked to Chris, the guy at Jaguar, on the phone a few weeks prior, and I was sort of like leaning towards him, and I didn't know why. It was like just vibe, like it was just in my gut. And the only answer I could give you was really just like, I got off the phone with somebody, some label, and I went right down the street. I sat down and I called him on his cell phone. I was like, Chris, like, I want to do this with you. Like he just felt like a brother, you know. He's from Fargo. It's like the Midwest thing, and like I felt so like in cahoots with him already.